Today I invite you to explore what it truly means to be a modern Viking. It's not just about emulating the fierce warriors of old, it's about embracing a way of life that champions resilience, courage, and community. I embarked on this journey, not as an outsider, but as someone seeking to understand and embody these timeless principles. In today's fast-paced world, the spirit of the Viking lives on in those who push themselves to the limits, who face their fears head-on. I visited modern gyms where people train with the intensity and discipline of warriors preparing for battle. It's not just about physical strength, but mental fortitude. I met a martial artist who personified this ethos. To me, being a modern Viking means facing my fears head-on and pushing beyond my limits. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and never backing down from a challenge. Every time I step onto the mat, I remind myself that true strength comes from within, from embracing the struggles and turning them into triumphs. But strength alone does not define a Viking. It's the sense of community, the unbreakable bonds forged through shared struggles and triumphs. In this modern age, we are often isolated by technology, but these modern Vikings find connection through tradition and shared experiences. They remind us that even in our most vulnerable moments, we are never truly alone. One of the most powerful lessons I learned on this journey is the importance of storytelling. Just as the Vikings of old passed down their legends, we too can find meaning and strength in our own stories. Sharing our experiences, our victories, and our defeats, this is what unites us and propels us forward on our own roads to Valhalla. Gathered around the fire, I listened to stories that transcended time, stories of heroes and heroines, of battles won and lost, of journeys taken and lessons learned. It was in these moments that I realized the true power of storytelling. It's a way to connect, to heal, and to inspire. As I listened, I felt a deep sense of belonging and purpose. Embracing the Viking spirit also means stepping into their shoes, quite literally. I joined a Viking reenactment group, donning armor and wielding weapons to experience firsthand the thrill and discipline of battle. It was challenging, both physically and mentally, but it was also exhilarating, a reminder that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The bonds formed in these moments of shared struggle and triumph are unbreakable. I found myself in the company of individuals who, despite their modern lives, carried the heart of a Viking. We laughed together, fought together, and learned together. It was a reminder that no matter how tough the battle, we are stronger together. Another aspect of the Viking spirit is craftsmanship. I visited a modern blacksmith who keeps the ancient art alive. Watching him work was mesmerizing. The rhythmic hammering, the sparks flying, and the intense focus reminded me that craftsmanship is a form of meditation, a way to channel energy and creativity into something tangible and lasting. Craftsmanship is about patience and precision. It's about pouring your heart and soul into your work. As a modern Viking, I see my forge as my sanctuary. It's where I connect with my roots and find peace in the rhythm of creation. Being a modern Viking is not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about embracing our vulnerabilities and transforming them into strengths. It's about seeking adventure, building community, and living each day with purpose and passion. As I navigated through these experiences, I found myself growing not just in strength, but in understanding. The Viking way is holistic. It's about balance between the physical and the mental, the individual and the community, the past and the present. Each aspect of this journey taught me something invaluable. We all have our own roads to Valhalla. It's a path filled with challenges and opportunities for growth. For me, this journey has been about finding balance, building resilience, and embracing vulnerability. It's about understanding that true strength lies in our ability to connect, to share, and to learn from one another. As we sail towards our own Valhalla, let us remember that the road is not always easy, but it is always worth it. We are the modern Vikings, and our saga is just beginning. Embrace the journey, cherish the community, and strive for greatness every day. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. If you found inspiration in our story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own tales in the comments below. Together, we can keep the Viking spirit alive and forge our own paths to greatness. Until next time, farewell, and may your road to Valhalla be filled with adventure and discovery.